what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up into standing, and this is where you're gonna need a wall. So I'm gonna start with my right arm. We're gonna hit this with an externally rotated elbow bent position. So rather than going arms straight, you're gonna have your elbow bent to 90 degrees. And when you place yourself on that wall, you can adjust. Do I wanna be a little lower? Do I wanna be right at 90? Do I wanna be up a little higher? I want you to kind of do a little scan and just check and go, okay, where does it feel the most restricted for me? That's probably gonna be where you're gonna get the most return on investment right now. So I'm gonna come up to my wall. I'm gonna assess, I'll give you guys a side view from this side first. I'm gonna assess how far I can get my arm behind me without cheating and rotating through my spine. So my chest is gonna stay pointed straight ahead. I'm gonna see how far I can bring my arm back, and then I'm gonna put myself on the wall at that angle. So with that right arm, assessing, chest straight ahead, how far can I get my arm back behind me? Then I'm gonna come up to my wall. I'm gonna turn my chest towards the wall slightly as my arm comes with me, such that I can get my arm flat on the wall. And then that's gonna be the angle that I'm gonna start my work at. Now when I do this to get even further into a passive stretch, I'm gonna take my sternum, which is currently pointed off this way, and I'm gonna turn it towards you guys. So I'm gonna take my chest and I'm gonna try and turn it slightly towards you, and now I feel a big stretch in my arm. And then like I said, you can test different angles and go, okay, where does this feel tightest for me? We're only doing one round of this today. So make sure that you find that angle that feels the most restricted, and then that's gonna be the angle that you're gonna work here. If you feel like you need more work here, if this feels very limited for you, hit rewind, hit a second rep, or just do it on your own a second time after. So you're in that position, you should feel a stretch through the front side of your arm. We don't want pinching or pain in the back side here, and I'm gonna talk you through what's gonna happen. So once you're in that position and you've turned your chest away and you feel that stretch in the front, I'm gonna come back and face you. This is the angle that I'm in right now. What we're gonna be doing, when I say so, you're just stretching right now, but when I say so, you're gonna be doing like a pec fly into the wall. So you're not just thinking push through my hand, you're not just thinking push through my elbow. I want even pressure through that full kind of palm, forearm area. You're gonna be driving it into the wall as if trying to push the wall forward, but I need you to make sure your chest doesn't move at all. So as you push into that wall, I don't want your spine to move. You've gotten into that position where you've brought that arm back, you've turned your chest away. I need you to keep that chest turned away as you press into the wall without letting it come back towards that hand. Then when I say so, what you're gonna do, this is where it gets particularly miserable, is if your wall is here, I'm then gonna attempt to lift off of the wall, but without letting my chest go with me. Because if those two things move together, that's my spine rotating to get my arm off. I don't want spine rotation today. I want shoulder abduction or horizontal abduction, which means my chest stays still and you're just trying to make that come from your arm. If you've gotten in a good passive stretch right now, you're probably gonna find that when you do that, your arm actually doesn't leave the wall. That's okay. Don't consider that a failure. Consider that a check mark in the sense that you are in your true passive range of motion. You're building to acquire more, but because you're in your passive range, you cannot give me an active lift off. And that's okay, because we're actually gonna come back and work on that after. So your arm is in that position. You've been stretching, probably wishing for me to stop talking so that we can get this going, so you can get out of this position. And we shall grant you that wish, because we're gonna start now. So you're gonna start to press into that wall. Do not let that arm, or do not let your chest, change positions. Just 20% effort to start. Trying to do that pec fly motion. You should feel work through the front side. Nice and slow increase to 40%. If you're finding it hard not to let your chest move, you can take that opposite hand, plant it on the wall to help kind of anchor yourself there. Then we're gonna climb a little higher to 60%. Find 80%. And then find your greatest, safest, pain-free effort and hold that. Do not let up. Now we're doing this on a wall right now. You can also do this on things like a door frame as well. That's worth mentioning. It is easier because then you have something in front of you to press into. As your range of motion gets better and better over time, you're gonna find that easier and easier. In about 5 seconds here, you're gonna reverse and you're gonna try to pull that arm off the wall. I find it really helpful in this one in particular to have that other arm anchored so that you don't let your chest go with you, because now you're gonna try to peel off Notice how I'm not going anywhere. However, there's a big contraction happening on the back side of my shoulder. Trying to get that hand off. You're fighting with me, and I'm here with you for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow your breathing down. Relax your arm. Don't come out of it yet, though. Stay with me here. Slow your breathing down, and then you can slowly come out of it. You will probably want to shake that arm out because it probably feels like it weighs like 100 pounds right now. And then we're going to come back into it. We're going to hit some lift-offs. You don't get too long of a break. If you need to hit pause, now's the time to do so. Arm's going to come back up. We're going to turn our chest away, but not so far that we can't lift off this time. So on the first time, I wanted you to turn far enough away that you couldn't lift off. You had that deep stretch. Now I actually want you to be able to lift off. So you can still anchor yourself with the other arm if you'd like, but I want you to be able to give me a slight lift off, but unimpressive. No more than an inch or two should you be able to lift your arm off that wall. Okay, so I don't want it to be you get here and you're like, oh yeah, I can lift off, 6 to 12 inches, no problem. Turn that chest away, make it hard. Keep yourself in that last little bit of your end range of motion here, and let's make your work. So as with this one, or as with the other one, you can adjust the angle that you do these over time as well. And like I said, doing this in a door frame is wonderful, because then instead of having this wall that's kind of parallel to you, you'll have a wall that's perpendicular to you, which makes this like 1,000 times easier. So if you have that accessible to you, use it. I do have that accessible to you, or to me, but it would make the camera angles here awful. So I'm going to make this wall work. And if this is all you have, you can make it work too. So find that angle, do that quick check to make sure you can produce the lift off. Anchor that other hand in the wall if you need to. And then we're going to lift off for 1. Soft landing on the wall. Lift off for 2. No change in spine position. Lift off for 3. Again, no change in your spine. 4. If there's a laser coming out of your chest, it's pointed at the same spot the entire time. 5. Slow lower. 6. Slow lower. 7. Slow lower. 8, you're almost there. Bring it back. 9. Back down. Last one here. 10. And back onto that wall. Shake that arm out.